Question of the day. Why live like a servant or a slave when you're the son of a king? The most embarrassing thing to a king, to a royal family in general, is a child that is living beneath their means, who are not living up to the family name and bringing embarrassment and shame onto the family name. Hate to step on some toes here, but that's how a lot of believers are with God. We have a father who is a king. God is our king. And instead of us living as royalty, we're out here living like servants, like slaves. We're living beneath our privileges and means as believers. And that can't keep happening, because in this year, moving forward from this point on, with everything going on in the world, you're going to need to live according to the kingdom. And you're going to need to live according to the provisions that have been made by the king. So why would you take the option of being a slave to sin when you could take the option of being liberated and free in a royal kingdom as a child of the king, as an heir? Why? So we have some choices to make here as believers. And if I was you, I would choose being a royal heir. I would choose being the son of a king and having access to the king, because that's what Jesus did for us. He made us reconciled with the Father, and he gave us access back to the king, something that we had left, something that we had lost. So that's what I want to talk about today. I mean, what better way to live than like royalty? All right, it's time to grow up, believers. It's time to grow up. If you are a child of God, if you are a believer, if you are saved, if you are a saint, it's time to grow up. Go with me right now to Galatians, the 4th chapter. The first verse says this: "Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father." That's a lot of us. I say us, I'm working my way out, but that's a lot of us. We are all heirs. We are all Lord of all. We have been given dominion, authority over this earth, and should be dominating, should be reigning here on earth the same way that God is in heaven. But we aren't. And we read right here, Paul is letting them know, although you are a child of a king, you really don't have much of a difference from a servant, because you don't know nothing. You don't know anything. So although you may be Lord of all, you need to be tutored. You need to be trained. You need to be, brought up to speed on how to act, on how to speak, how to walk, how to dress, how to do this, how to do that. And so many believers need that, being a part of this royal family, because when you're born again, you become a new creation. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things become new. Your family is now new. You are now part of the royal family. So don't bring embarrassment to the royal name. You cannot continue to bring embarrassment to God by the way that you're living, by the way that you're acting, by the way that you're speaking. It's not going to cut it anymore moving forward. So what you need to do is take advantage of the tutors. Take advantage of the governors. Take advantage of all of this that you have at your disposal to learn how to grow, how to mature, and how to be a true heir, how to be a true person who, if your father looked at you and said, okay, it's time for you to get your inheritance, they know that you won't squander it. But unfortunately, a lot of things are held back from believers, because if they got it, they wouldn't know what to do with it. If they got it, it will probably drive them away from God and deeper into sin versus bringing them closer. See, we are heirs. We are joint heirs with Christ. I want to show you that. And we can actually stay here in Galatians, the 4th chapter. If you just go down to the 7th verse, it says, "Wherefore thou art no more a servant, but a son." Okay? You're no longer a servant, you're a son. And if a son, then an heir of God through Christ. So now you've been made an heir of God through Christ. You are now joint heirs with Christ. You are now seated with him in heavenly places. Meaning, he gave us the same authority. He lives inside of us, and we live inside of him. As he makes intercession to the Father in heaven, when God looks at him, he doesn't see him, he sees us. Likewise, when he looks at us, he doesn't see us, he sees Jesus. So he's made it this way so that we can have access, so that we can have the relationship. He's reconciled us back to the Father. He put us right back in right standing, in good standing with the Father, so that nothing is withheld from us, so that we can live the prosperous, abundant life that we're supposed to live, free of sin, free of turmoil, free of sickness, free of debt, free of anything that's not God. Anything that's anti-God, anti-Christ, we can live free of it. We can live above it because we've been made heirs. We have the highest status in the world, yet we operate like people who are living in the lowest status. And I'm black, as you can see, but one thing that black people always say is that although slavery may have ended all of those years ago, people are still enslaved in their minds. And we see it every day. It's never been a truer statement, but I can say the same thing about believers. Although they've been free from sin, they're still bound to sin in their mind. They're still bound to sin in the way that they act, in the way that they talk, in the way that they think about God. Like, they're still bound to it. So although the truth is you're free, the reality is you're free. But the condition of your mind, the condition of your body, the condition of what you know and how you know to act is all telling you that you're still enslaved. But that can change. See, let's go to Hebrews, and this is the last one. This will be a shorter video. I know I say that a lot, and it ends up being long. But Hebrews, the 4th chapter, the 16th verse. Actually, start at 15. This is talking about Jesus and what he's given us access to and who we are now. So remember, you have access to the King. And this is how. For we have not an high priest who cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. I mean, I don't know how much clearer the Bible can make it about who we are, about what Jesus has accomplished, about where we now stand and what our status now is. And, you know, it's so much you can go into about the job of the high priest, this, that, and the other. And normally I give a synopsis, but maybe that's another video I'll do. The point is, Jesus has made a way for us to come boldly to the throne. All right? We can come boldly to the throne. We can come boldly before the Father and get whatever we need, whenever we need it, because he's given us grace. And we need to start living according to that grace and stop living according to the conditional mindset that we've been given and living according to the aftershocks and the after effects of sin and this, that, and the other. You're a new creation. You're a new person. You have a new family. You have a new name. You have a new nature. Everything about you is new. You have access to a king now, when at first you were children of darkness. So what we have now is so much greater. But are we living according to that? Are we living up to that status? No. So that's why my video today is accessing the king. You have access to the king. You have been put right back into the right place that you were supposed to be in, given dominion and power to reign on this earth the way that you always intended to show forth the nature of God. And what are you doing with it? How are you living? Are you making a mockery of the crown? Are you making a mockery out of God? Are you bringing shame to the kingdom? Or are you living according to the kingdom of heaven and allowing people to see the light through you, allowing people to see you and know that there is a God, to know that, you know, Jesus is real? Because that's our plight here. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be spreading the nature, spreading the gospel of the kingdom. And that gospel is, now that I'm a part of the kingdom, I am joint heirs with Christ. He's King of kings and Lord of lords. I'm a king, I'm a Lord. I am of a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a chosen generation. All of these things, I am that. I am the righteousness of God. You have to believe that. You have to declare that. You have to decree that. And you have to live like that. So what better way to live than like royalty? Stop living beneath your means. No longer be a servant. No longer be a slave. Be the king. Be the queen. Be the, you know, person that you were meant to be in God. All right? That's what I want to leave you with today. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.